Have you ever hit a point in your life where you realize that you are attracting the same type of people into your life over and over and over and over again? Like it's hard to miss at this point. Like the exact same situation happening with every person that you meet in a different body. And you've probably hit a point in your life where you say, well, this is just ridiculous. Like, what is going on? This is ridiculous. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, I'm here to tell you that you're going to need to start being a little more judgmental. Hear me out. We view being judgmental as a negative thing. Like when we come across someone, maybe they're quirky or eclectic and, people pass judgment on them. That's not necessarily what I mean. Judgment in this case can really also be another word for discerning. In order for you to have discernment, you got to have a little bit of judgy in you. Okay, you're going to have to be a little bit judgy. And when I say that, I mean looking at someone's actions in their life and seeing if that is compatible with you and where you are in life. It took me so long to realize this. There are so many people who are addicted to being the victim. They are addicted to their situations. They love being, oh, poor me, I'm just so helpless, you have to help me. Then they come into your life and they bring that bull. And now you're over here dealing with stuff that ain't even got nothing to do with you. It is time to take a look at those people's habits and their decisions and just see how they're messing up their own life. Some people just want to be saved by any and everyone throughout their entire life. They don't want to focus on getting better. They want a savior. And they will extract, deplete, and dump as many people as they can. I say all this because it really took me a while to realize this. And after the last relationship that I had, the last friendship that I tried to develop, it really just made me realize that I am repeatedly doing the same thing over and over. And obviously I'm supposed to learn the lesson too, like from a spiritual perspective. Something keeps looping. I need to learn the lesson. But I definitely learned that lesson this time. Okay. For me, it started with my ex when I met him in my mid-20s. He was still living in his parents when I met him, and he was in his late 20s, tapping on 30, right? And when we met, that wasn't something that I judged him for. Because I'm like, well, how am I going to judge him for being grown living with his parents when I was, right? And then also he told me that he just went through a divorce. So it's very natural to, when you divorce, you go move back in with your parents. Like you have that support system. That's nothing to be ashamed of. It's actually very much a blessing to be able to move back in with your parents. But something that I didn't clock, that I didn't pay attention to, was just how comfortable he had gotten in his situation. You see, I did not judge him for the fact that he still lived with his parents after a divorce. I should have judged him for the fact that he was still there 4 years later with no plan to move out. That man was comfortable. And I've been thinking back on it. It made sense because when I told him that I was still living with my parents, he had like a shocked look on his face, like, oh, wow. And the more I think about it, the more I realize it probably disturbed his plans a little bit, because maybe if I did have my own place, which honestly, I'm glad I didn't, he would have tried to bum rush and homosexual his ass into my place if I did have my own place. And that was something that kind of happened. He was always coming over to my mother's place. My mother was cool with him being there. He always, whenever the opportunity presented himself, always wanted to come over. So I really could have only imagined if I did have my own place. But also, we worked together for 2 years before we decided to move in with each other. I essentially was his exit plan to get out of his parents' house. Because he, at that time, had been living there for about 6 years with no plans to move out. Then he comes into my life and we move in together. It was because of this relationship that I was able to catch the red flags very early on in the next friendship that I had. So I tried to befriend this woman who did not have her license. And from the jump, it was immediate that she expected me to drive her around everywhere anytime that we went out. Like, she definitely felt entitled to my car, and she was very inconsiderate of my needs, not caring how far I had to go to pick her up. She would always just expect me to. And my old self would have been like, okay, she doesn't have her license, so I guess I'll go and pick her up. But this time, I definitely stopped and not only thought about my needs and what I wanted, because it's not just about what she wants, it's about what I want too. But I also thought about, why is this my problem? Like, why is this something that I feel I have to do? Because she made me feel like I had to do it because she didn't have her license, right? And there really wasn't a favorable answer to that question, because obviously I didn't have to, right? But there will be just some instances where you get into people's lives and you see maybe they have unfortunate events, unfortunate situations that are beyond their control, and you want to help out. But in this particular instance, that wasn't the case. She didn't have her license simply because she didn't want to go out and get one. See, she's been driven around by her family her whole entire life, and she got comfortable in that situation. And of course, her family is her family, so they did not have any problem with driving her around where she needed to go. But the problem became mine, because when I came into her life, she expected me to pick up that slack. And this is where the problem lies. Being expected to pick up the slack for someone who does not want to take the action steps to further their life is a problem. And that's essentially what was going on with her. She did not want to do anything to resolve her situation, and she expected me to come into her life and fill that role. People will put all of their time and their energy into mastering manipulation instead of putting that same grit into getting out of the situations themselves. You know what I'm saying? My point in all of this, especially if you are someone who is constantly being taken advantage of by the people in your life, and you're fed up and you're tired, you're going to have to start judging people's situations whether you like it or not. And if that's uncomfortable for you, first of all, fight through the discomfort, because it's going to be uncomfortable. But second of all, even if you, again, if you don't want to use the word judgment, just use that discernment. It is not your responsibility to continue to pick up the pieces of broken glass that people keep slamming down on the floor. These people have a perfect piece of fine china in front of them, and they just keep smashing it on the floor. And you keep picking up those broken pieces every single time. That's not your responsibility. So what I want to leave you with is this. In order to truly stop the pattern of meeting the worst people in your life, you're going to have to start observing, asking questions, and being judgmental. You have to look at someone's situation and ask yourself, is this temporary, or is this a lifestyle that they've chosen? Do away with any thoughts of, well, I don't want to be mean, I just want to be fair. And hey, you can't play fair in an unfair world. I don't know who coined that term, but this world is not fair. This life is not fair. And these people who you are giving your all to are not being fair to you. So why continue to offer them that same luxury? Because it is a luxury. Even if you do want to play fair in this world, you are not receiving fairness on your end. Because I personally believe that it's not fair for someone who does not want to work for their desires to get everything that they want from somebody who puts in 110% of their effort. This world is full of leeches, and they will take and take and take from you without a second thought. So start being judgmental. I said what I said. So I want to thank everyone so much for listening to my video today. Please hit the like and subscribe button if this resonated with you. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video.